Shit Almighty. What's up? How y'all doing? It's the tags.
Good evening and welcome to the Poetry of Justice Show with JackieRay Phillips here on YaksRadio.com. Here on the Poetry of Justice Show, this is where social consciousness meets the art. And what we do, we select topics that spark the interest and awareness of social diversity ranging from arts, entertainment, and social justice at large, leaving our listeners thinking and saying, ladies and gentlemen, that's the special time of the show for me because those are the sultry sounds of my mentor, the Mr. Kevin Nash. Mr. Kevin Nash is the owner of this proprietorship here at Yikes Radio and AccelerateRadio.net. And so I just love to take the time out, Rashid, to just give Kevin Nash a little love and respect because if it were not for Mr. Nash and his passion for what he does, ladies and gentlemen, it would be impossible for me to do what I so love to do here on the Poetry Justice Show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a little time out to give some shout-outs to our sponsorship, and I'm going to start out with Miss Lori Ray Fisher, a.k.a. the benefactor here on the Poetry of Justice Show, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to also give a very special shout-out to her and Ginger Productions and Entertainment Company, ladies and gentlemen. I also am going to go ahead and give a very special shout-out to one of our very new sponsors, that is GG Babies Catering, ladies and gentlemen, LLC. And you can get to GG Babies Catering, ladies. That is with my nephew, Chef Mac Macario Rosales, ladies and gentlemen. So I want you to check him out. I know it's COVID right now. It's a lot going on. But you just never know. So just check him out. The best way to do that for me is on Instagram. And again, that's Chef Mac at GBABBIES LLC. And again, ladies and gentlemen, that's on Instagram. And then I give a very special shout out to our WMPJ Steelwork, the man of steel, ladies and gentlemen. Here, a very proud sponsor of the Poetry of Justice Show with JackieRay Phillips. And then I'd like to give a very special shout out to APS Muscle Cars, ladies and gentlemen. I want to tell everybody a little something about APS Muscle Cars. There's been an expansion. So, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is doing some restorations. He does high-end vehicle storage. You want to check him out. This is Memo, M-E-M-O, with APS Muscle Cars Incorporated. And that's just a little something that we do here in our introduction to the Poetry of Justice Show with JackieRay Phillips on YaksRadio.com and AccelerateRadio.net. So thank you all for being here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special show planned for you tonight. We have a very talented, beautiful young diva in the house tonight. Her name is Miss Shatia Nerisse. And my sister and I had the honor and the pleasure to do a pre-interview with Shatia and her team. We had an opportunity, and each one of these producers that work with her, they are mighty in and of themselves individually, as well as collectively, how they have come together on what I feel is an amazing journey. It's a piece of work. It's a project that, of course, Shatia will tell each and every one of us about, and by the end of this broadcast airing tonight, we'll know so much more about this beautiful lady and who she is and how she is and why she is and being here with us tonight. And then as a part of this journey, I know we're going to have some information being spoken to us by the individuals that I think is a part of her engine that keeps her running and going, and those individuals are Keith Lyon Lowry, ladies and gentlemen. If I did that right, Queen Shatia. And then a company. That's a good thing. And he's also, I just said it's just something about the photograph that I was told about this person, and we did the pre-show interview, and I got my notes here, and Joe said, His name is Polo. His name is Polo. Okay, Polo, right? With all due respect, I'm going somewhere with this one, right? And then once I got the photograph and I had an opportunity to grace his IG page, I'm like, nah, it's more than just Polo to this. So I had to put in my advertising, the Polo Grit, ladies and gentlemen. And so he's going to be with us tonight. He is with us here tonight as a part of Miss Shatia, Nerisse, the D series, ladies and gentlemen. I told everybody it's going to be less groove tonight. We're going to let our hair down. We're going to have some fun. And we're going to learn so much by this beautiful lady. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen and listeners, to our show, Miss Shatia Nerisse. Good evening. Oh, you're looking amazing. Mr. Gerald Tapper, I'm just going to go on ahead, and if it's all right with you, I'm going to just pass the microphone to you and allow you to give us a more proper introduction of Miss Shatia Nerisse and who you are to the show and the amazing attributes you have blessed us with. So, Mr. Gerald Tapper.
Thank you, Beck. I'm not sure if Shatia would like the audience or anyone to know how long ago it was when we started our project.
She sounds better. She sounds better.
Way back when, I would say it had been like 16, maybe 17 years ago. Shatia was a young 22-year-old, and she was young and vibrant and full of fun. And I was a little older, and I was embarking on a music career and working here at the hotel where I met Shatia. And, Shatia, we had a conversation one day. She found out that I was involved in music. So she came to me and she said, Tap, I sing. I said, well, what are you, a rapper? Because she was, but no, she said she sings. And she said she had a church background and all kinds of stuff. And she said, wow, well, let's check it out. And she had a demo, Jackie, that sounded pretty nice.
Yes.
That, had potential. I said, well, wow, this is good because I'm like at the initial stage. He said, you are at the initial stage, so let's get this together. I said, I'm going to take you to my hometown in Philadelphia, and we want to get something going here. I know some people, and I had the honor to, we traveled down, we became friends. I was more like a big brother. Well, we was doing business, but I kept it, big brother co-worker type of thing. And no one took us serious. We was just having fun, but I took it to meet my man here in the podcast. The brother, the producer is Lion. I knew Lion guys all my life. We lived together in West Philadelphia in the same neighborhood, and we grew up together. And Lion, people don't know this, but Lion's uncle is Frankie Beverly. Frankie Beverly and Macy's.
Yeah, my uncle is good, yeah, family member. I hear that in the background.
Yeah. She met Lion and they collaborated. And the thing about it was, we had a nice run and we made a demo and it was nice and I was trying to shop it and things. It didn't go as far as we wanted it to, but Shatia and Lion stayed together for all those years. This is the best thing about the whole story. Years later, they just stayed together. They were doing a lot of work. Lion was doing jingles and doing stuff for TV series and all kinds of stuff. And Shatia was working with them on the background. And they was just working. They would keep in touch and Tap, what you doing now? I was doing my different projects. Me and Lion was doing other projects. But Shatia always stayed close. I would see her, blah, blah. She's grown up. She became grown and forget about the music. Her life story is another thing where it's so successful. So, it's like, if you put everything together, Shatia's already successful.
Amen.
But she had, she embarked on this future thing and she's not a quitter. And she wanted to give it, another shot at it. And her and Lion came together, I hope they give me another shot because man, that thing is high. You know what I mean? And that's how the story get. That's my story with Shatia. You know, we just stayed friends. It was a win-win situation. It was a good thing. We never had no animosity, never no, you know. And she came back to me and she said, she made me feel great. It was almost like a tearjerker, but I held it. You know.
You were able to keep it together big time? That's it. Cool. Shatia, I have a question for you. So we're going to kind of step into the interview a little bit, and we're going to dance, and you're going to take us through a journey of your work. But to give myself and our listeners and your listeners a more broader depth into you, Shatia, where does your passion come from? Like, how old were you when you knew that you were very talented and special and gifted with singing and entertaining? Okay.
It's Fridays in the Bronx, and it was a house full of doo-wop and entertainers and dancing, and it was just a great vibe. And I was just try to perform in front of my dad. He was like, you know, you gotta do it from the back, you gotta breathe in, right? So I'm like, I can sing too, Daddy, I can sing too. So it was definitely when I was younger, but my love for it when I would say, like, I was in Oz when I see Mary J.
Oh my God.
Oh, you could go like this.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just a whole vibe. And then from there, I was joining different choirs and choruses in school. And I remember I was on my sister act move when I went to high school, and we had to prepare for a holiday show, and the carols were just so. I was like, oh, this is so boring. I too. So I wound up stopping, and I told the teacher, I was like, you know, can we like change it up a bit? You know, have the harmonies, and they do the put it on phone. It was like drummer boy we were trying to do. And then I started singing, and next thing you know, I had a solo, and I was like, okay. All right, I got a little something. But over the years, there's different things from me intact to different people listening and playing different songs, from Destiny's Child walking through a hallway of my building. People are like, oh, you ever thought about singing? You ever considered singing? And then from there, it took off, and I've been introduced to the life of studio. So it's always been there, but I was always very shy, definitely very shy. And people tell you sing and right then and there, and I'm like, you know. And then over the years, I adapted to it, and when it was time to deliver, it was like, you know, you get in front of a microphone and you just go, you feel it. And it's like a feeling that you don't feel before. And you hear your music coming out of, once it's done, and it's you're like, I did that.
Yeah.
Oh, that you can't take a high from that. Like,
Right.
it's amazing.
Right.
So that's where the passion comes from. When I was a kid, doing music over the years, different churches and choirs, and meeting definitely awesome people like Taff and Lion to just give you that opportunity to get behind a booth and try something. It's taken off ever since.
Now, with regard to your writing, Shatia, can you give us a little bit of insight into the inspiration? And particularly, we're going to go obviously into the D series, but just kind of overall before we go all the way in there. Just kind of how's your motivation with writing? How does it come to you?
Definitely, it's an emotional feeling at the time. I could feel happy, and then I'll start just humming something. I used to do the and try to vibe to a beat, and I used to do that, and I'm like, okay, and then I start humming with it, and next thing you know, you're trying to create a hook just off that emotion right in the minute. I could feel sad, and the next thing you know, I got a sad song. If I'm in a mood where I'm like, I want to pop and dance, and I got an up tempo that I can deliver. So it's just my mood at that time and how I feel that projects and how I make music.
Wow. I'm sorry about that. That's beautiful. I'm excited. So I want to, what do you want us to start? I know what do you want us to start? Because this is to showcase you. So what are you feeling tonight when we start? Yes. Okay. Yes. Well, I'm giving it to you, darling. It's all about you right now. So tell us all that juice. I'm ready. Let's do it.
That have lost a loved one in 2020. You know, our heart goes out to all of you. So definitely keep everybody in prayer there. But the reality is COVID-19 opened up an opportunity, not just for me, but for a lot of people to say, okay, what's next? People are heavy in terms of unemployment. I remember I was driving one day, I was in my car, and I was so stressed, like, wow, what is going on? We're under a pandemic.
Excuse me, Shatia, 1 second. Somebody's playing music in the background. I hear, do you hear that music?
Yeah, that's me.
It's our track. Just a little.
Yep.
We'll turn it
Turn
on.
that down.
Okay.
Thanks, Rashid. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm driving one day, and it hit me. Reality is, if I wasn't doing this, what else would I be doing? As Pat said, I have a awesome career, phenomenal. I've been blessed to still be employed throughout COVID-19, and working hard to try to get people back to work. But the reality is, if it was to go tomorrow, what would I be doing, right? And the only thing that I've done besides hotels, like Pat said, was music. And I remember quickly, like, getting on the phone saying, Keith, I think we need to meet. I want to have a chat with you. And it was a spiritual thing, because if I went today or tomorrow, I said, well, I want to leave my kids with something, right? I want to leave something behind. So I want to tell my story. And so we sat down, we had a chat, and I said, no, I'm serious. I want to put together an EP. How much do you need? How will we get started? And it was all she wrote. So I spoke to him, and then through my sister, we met previously, through my sister, and a camp with Monogram Mixed Media, they put together a nice project for another artist. Shout out to Hollywood High. But we had an opportunity to go to a meeting with them, and that's where I had met Polo Grit. I got introduced to some of his tracks, and I said, you know what, I want to switch it up a bit. I want to do my relationship with Keith Laurie, and I want to build new relationships as well. And so we tapped on Polo Grit's tracks and his talent, and we put together these series. And I told him every track, everything is gonna start with the beat. Okay, this is my baby. I'm doing it, and then it was like, okay.
Why were you so adamant about why so adamant about the letter D on each one, Steve?
This was a dream. It's called D series, which represents dreams. It's like dreams manifested in song, like whether it's emotions, perhaps something I dreamt about, something I went through. And I said, well, I don't want to call it dream series, but we want to call it D series. But I was like, how best to drive it home by making sure every song starts with that letter. And you can have any expression from desire or, dishonest or, different variations starting with that word. There were so many. I remember we were doing Do Better. I'm putting you on blast, Polo. We were doing Do Better. And Polo was like, okay, what's this called? Damage? And I said, well, I know I did my thing on the song, but we ain't got to name it Damage. I'm not damaged. He was like, oh, my bad. I'm like, it's called Do Better. Tried to call the song Damage. And then I'm gonna put Keith on blast. We did Divorce, and he wanted to be subtle about it. He wanted to be subtle. He's like, well, let's call it D-word. I said, no. Divorce. That's what I've been doing.
was real subtle, I didn't even say it, I just wouldn't.
He did it on his own.
God, I didn't say it. Yeah.
Well, that being shared, Shatia, what do you think we should splash into first? Do better or divorce? What do you think we should? Okay, that's right.
When I left, I knew this time was different. It grew marriage and kids. No way, I'm supposed to fight to stay. But when I see no picture, you and her in your phone, there were so many signs to me you never came home. Time and time has passed, almost 2 decades. So sad, we went through with me. I mean, I almost took singing. I never thought I'd see the day when I would say goodbye, baby, baby. Goodbye, baby, baby. I never thought I'd see the day when I would say goodbye, baby, baby. Goodbye, baby, baby. At the courthouse that day, wanted to scream out, please stay. Out of fear from what to do, living a new life without you. But then it hit me, I'm free, free from all your lies and deceit. So many tears I cried, I tried to stay, I tried to stay. Oh, baby, never thought I'd see the day when I would say goodbye, baby, baby. Goodbye, baby, baby. I never thought I'd see the day when I would say goodbye, baby, baby. Goodbye, baby, baby. Free from all the lies, free from all the hurt, free from all my hidden pain. Free from all the storms, free from almost screaming out, going insane. Free now, I feel joy, free now, so loud, so I can love again. Free from everything, I am free, free from everything. Never thought I'd see the day when I would say goodbye, baby, baby. Goodbye, baby, baby. I never thought I'd see the day when I would say goodbye, baby, baby. Goodbye, baby, baby. When I was say goodbye, baby, baby, goodbye, baby, baby.
You go, Miss Shatia.
I love it. That's beautiful. Yes, yes. Shatia, I like when you talk about when you're there at the courthouse and you realize that you were saying goodbye. Goodbye. Like goodbye, baby, baby, goodbye. But what was that really like? What was that like? And how long was that transition from the moment you knew to say goodbye, but you also go on to say, but I'm free? You know what I mean?
Shock. You felt the voice. When I remember my attorney was like, you're done. I'm like, that's it? Like, that's it? He was like, you want to keep the name? I was like, oh, hold on, I want to keep my name.
Yeah.
I was just, it was like a hollow feeling. That's the best way I felt like there was a hole there. And I remember feeling numb when I drove away. I was just like, that's it. Like, that's really it. But with it came a flood of emotions of what's next? What's your next chapter gonna look like? Okay, I don't know, let's get a number or something. Let's go out.
Right.
Something free, it was like, wow. Like you were floating on air. After the initial shock of what transpired, it was like, okay, life is not over because you're going through a divorce. And people, when they go through a divorce, it's the equivalent of feeling the death. You know what I mean? Because this is a person you shared a huge abundance of time with. And what is that next chapter? What does life look like when you remove that? So it was a huge wake up call. And I'm happy to say that at least we were able to walk away amicably. You know what I mean? Like peace and just peace and love. Because we were married so young. We married at 21. So Tap actually probably over the year, Tap. we were married at 21, and it went for about 16 years.
Wow.
So it's not a walk in the park to just come out and be like, okay, all right.
Right.
Dude, I could just go.
I know.
So it was a definitely a humbling experience. But at the same time, from there, I had the comfort of amazing women. We went on girls' trips. I never had the experience of being in college and going away to Cancun, etc. I had my daughter when I was 23. So I never had that opportunity to travel and do a lot of what the girls did. And I remember we went on a girls' trip and they had a foam pool party. And I was like a kid in a candy store, like, we got foam. And they're like, girl, you never seen foam? No. And I stayed in the pool and just had all the foam, and because I was like, I get to do what I missed during my 20s, during those years. So I just was like, all right, we're gonna make up for lost time.
Right. Shatia, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. I have one of the listeners, he says, how do you feel about you're free? He says, do you think you're free to make the same mistake?
Very possible, and that's interesting he asked that because y'all might as well just make it up, do better.
Right, well, that part right there, right? Those are the two topics we were talking about anyway. So Donald, thank you so much. You hear what Shatia, okay, Andre, you heard what Shatia said. So we're finna go ahead into one of her second amazing new tracks in her new release. Shatia, tell us about it.
When I transitioned through D-Series, I started with divorce, and then through it, you go through your freedom, and then I did a track called Dark Skin, and that just was your affirmation of loving yourself. But
That joint is hot.
But through the process, your expectation is to do better than what you've done in the past. And so now I'm out here and I'm dating, and I'm like, wait, something's not adding up right? Like, I'm supposed to be getting the calls on a regular basis. I'm supposed to be getting courted. I mean, did it change that much? And in the process of doing that, I found out some stuff that I was like, oh, okay, all right, welcome to the dating party. And I'm not naive. I'm a very, very smart woman. So if things don't go as planned or go as they're supposed to, then I'm gonna call you out on it. So I remember addressing that situation with said gentleman, and I just was so mad, so I just started writing. Boom, boom, boom. I shot it over to Polo, and shout out to Brian. I shouted out to them. They didn't even hear how it went to the track, and I was like, look, here's the lyrics. I gotta get in the studio. This is how I'm feeling. I gotta do this. And next thing you know, I think it was that week. Was it that weekend, Polo? That we turned around that weekend.
Yeah.
I went in there and said, okay, I'm ready. And I went into that booth, and I expressed how I felt on that song.
I mean, I'm sorry, that was not the case, but you definitely went in and did your thing with that track, and I heard your emotion and how you hit that track, so.
Before we go into the track, I have a question for the panel. And Lori and I, we've done a series on some shows that we've called Bruised, but not broken. Lori, and I'm thinking about that as I listen to Shatia speak. And I know we heard the word damaged, but sometimes, and you know, we can take that, but I think sometimes we get bruised. You see what I'm saying? But we don't break. And Shatia, I take my hats off to you. And 16 years is a very long time of marriage. We didn't even discuss the number prior to, you know, that, and I'm just going to be a little candid. I've been married now, Shatia, 30 years, just this past December. 35 years in relationship. In the relationship. So my childhood, my 20hood, my 30hood, my 40hood go on to the break of dawn. So that's why I was asking you in specific, and I'm just going to be 100. There's been many a times that I'm pretty sure on both sides of the marriage where you're like, you know, is this really work, man? If you people will keep it 100, you're going to be having moments when you're ready to bounce. So that's why I was saying to you, Shatia, when you spoke about the goodbye, baby, goodbye, it was that something was like, okay, this is the goodbye, baby. This is the goodbye, baby. And so that's why I'm really excited about it. Because I feel like, and maybe before we go into how much of the D series, if you could say, if any, is therapy for you? Shatia. Okay.
Whole album,
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Need to definitely heal, and at the end, as you go through it, you know, it's an up-tempo track, and I end with it like, whatever, like, I'm good.
And then you did that video to put some stank on it, so you're like, exactly, I fucking love it. We gotta do the video too. Okay, so if it's okay with you, Rashi, we're gonna go into Do Better.
Big J type. Mr. Mary J joint.
Why did you come into my life? Why did you come into it? I was someone's wife. Confided in you, opened up and shed tears. As I went through the course, you helped me face my fears. Grieving the loss of marriage, you caused my strife. Wanted me to yourself while you were the man in her life. Why did you hurt me? Give me more pain. Not answering my text because I was going insane. Thought I would be your queen, be thrown, I think. Instead I lose another, now she fell, you came. Bringing one pieces to a puzzle, it was clear to see. Oh man, I grew to love, he did not love me. Do better from the side, before I give any advantages to my heart. I need to do better from the side. The science doesn't hit me, so I won't give, so I need to do better. It's selfish of you to come and just walk away. I'm not the type to chase and beg you to stay. There's nowhere you can take from me. Just come and just leave. Why did you come into my life? I can't believe I lost love again. Why did you come into my life? Why did you come into my life? Oh, why did you come into my life? I need to do better from the side. Before I give any advantages to my heart. I need to do better from the side. See the science has hit me, so I won't give, so I need to do better.
Woo.
I love it.
Yo,
I love it.
that's a good job on
And
that one.
our Zoom room is blowing up. Everybody says they love those
Killing
beats.
it.
I know.
They love this song. They say you're killing it, Shatia.
Thank you, thank you. I felt that one, man.
Man, do but I think about Maya Angelou when she says, you know, when you know better, you do better. You know, so that's what my mind went into listening to that fabulous piece. But go ahead, Big Tap. I'm sorry, you were gonna say, sir?
Say, listen, I know we got to get into other things and we want to see the video. But listen, I want to go back on playing another song. We got to do my song.
I know.
When we go
You
out
know,
of here
I know.
later on, we got to do
Like
dark
dark
skin.
skin, yeah. That's his favorite.
Holiday, you know,
How
the
did-
you can't tell which one is they all.
I want to say,
Shatia put up-
it's hotter than baked clams, and you know that's hot, y'all. Hot as fish grease, how about that? She's fire. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You want to do it now? What you want to do? Are we doing the video? What do you want to do? Shatia, it's up to you. Love, what you want to do? Okay, let me go back over to him. Let me go back. Hold on one moment, Shatia. Girl. What were you going to say, Lori?
Was to take some time for yourself, right? I think oftentimes as women, we don't do that. And particularly sometimes with women coming out of relationships, that to have that space where we really take some time for ourselves. To me, that's a higher level thinking, Shatia. How did you get to that level of thinking as a young woman?
I noticed it when I transitioned out of the divorce. I noticed, I said, okay, I'm seeing a trend here. I'm attracting that same level of energy. And in order for me to modify or change what I'm attracting, I gotta take a step back and not be afraid to express how I feel when those emotions come into play. So if you show me yin, I'm gonna bring the yang. We're gonna have a conversation.
It's going down.
Even though
Putting the blinders on me, I think it's safe enough to say sometimes us as women, we'll see all the signs and we put our blinders on because you just wanna hold on to something.
Right.
I know the end result. You know, when you're married, ultimately that's what you're. I don't want to get married. I've been there. I've done that. So any energy that's coming into my life has to be a positive energy, and I have to be able to grow. Even as a woman, I got to be able to grow, and I can't grow if you're bringing negative energy into my space. Then what was the purpose of me leaving a marriage in the first place, right?
Right.
So when you get that realization within yourself, it's easier for you to say, "Oh, that's gonna sting a little bit. I like that one, but you know what? God's got something better." So I'm gonna keep it disrupting. So I'm okay sitting by myself because I've never done that. I've been with the person since I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
And now I could just like peace.
Deuces. See what I said?
man, I'm gonna tell you how dope that album is. I'm gonna tell you what I did. And Lori and Jackie can vouch for me. I went through the same thing you've been through, even more recently. And I've been dealing, and I've been a little more, you know, by myself. We haven't been talking and discussing. Ryan knows my wife, Paula, you just came in, but Ryan knows, everyone knows my situation. And you know what I did recently? I sent her that out. And I was the one you was probably talking about, like your husband. You know, I wanted my wife to hear how inspiring that's probably is to her. You know, even though I was the one that did the crap, you know, that was on the other side, the album's still dope.
Right.
And it will inspire her. And that made me try to tell her that you know, you went through that. You know, it is what it is. But listen, Shatia helped me understand your understand her, you know what I mean? And, I sent it to her, I don't know if she listened to it, Shatia or not, but she got it.
Right.
Because because it's fly, and it's saying something, and it's probably inspirational to other women. I know it is to Jackie and, Lori, and I know how people are responding to it. It's nice, Shatia. Good job. I did a great job too. That piece of work is very nice, y'all.
Shatia, if it's okay with you, can we?
I was just gonna comment on that emotion she brought to the project. Like, they mentioned therapeutic aspect earlier.
Yeah.
And on divorce, she probably don't mind me saying that she actually got emotional in the booth when she recorded it. After playing it back, like literally in the booth before she even came out. It just kind of like came out. Tears flowed, and then it was also the joy of having completed the song. So it was just like, and I think it's big that you can share that with your ex-tap, because obviously it's therapeutic. I've seen it from both ends. It went from you to be a man and then be like, you know what, this could probably be inspiration of her. It's big, I think of you to do it. I think see it that way from that perspective.
Yeah, I mean, because my wife knows Shatia, she knows who she is, and she knows 16, 17 years ago I was trying to work with Shatia. She know about me and you lying and Shatia, the trip you made to Philadelphia, and for Shatia to come back and and get me involved, or just to come back to me and say thanks, that was Robert. The whole thing is it's just emotional to me, just like she hit me with all that. And when I heard it live, you don't understand, I was so happy. I didn't even know Polo, I'm calling him. Like, I know him, like, this is family now, man, because y'all came up with something. You could tell that was all from the stomach, from deep down. It came up from all of y'all, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask, if it's okay with you, Shatia, if we could maybe hear from Polo and Lion their work and how it intertwines into the fabric of your brilliance, if you will. What about you, Lion? Where do you go? How do you get that?
In my background musically, or?
Yes, Lion, yes. Musically and where you are, and how the two of you and that collaboration, how we are able to hear such amazing pieces of work tonight.
But Tap said started some years ago with him introducing us, and we vibe musically, but like he said, we really stayed in touch after the fact. And my main focus is as a songwriter and producer. And then, as the business was starting to change in the mid-2000s, I kind of changed my energies into other aspects of getting music out there. So we started focusing on some licensing of the music and just writing songs. And Shatia, probably around the 2010s and all, in that era, for me, anytime I connected with her, if I was working on something, she was always inspiration. Like, I'd throw a beat on, she just go start beatboxing, like she said, and then just, and start writing stuff, immediately ideas, and then I would vibe off of her, offer lyrics, we just had a nice chemistry musically.
Wow.
And we actually had some success licensing songs. We licensed a bunch of music in MTV film. When the show Single Ladies was on VH1, my publishing company had a bunch of songs in that show. We had about 17 placements in that show. And the song that Shatia and I did together probably played the most.
All right.
And so like, if you see any reruns of that show, we got music all through it.
Oh my God, so
in all
good.
3 seasons. So that was the type of thing we were doing. So she's an accomplished songwriter along with me in terms before she even came out as an artist.
Right.
By having, song placements in film and TV. And we did that. I started, expanding my publishing company, just helping other writers
Mhm.
that do the same thing by knowing something in the business, because I've been in it a while, been through the knocks and the school of hard knocks in the music business, so I knew enough about publishing that I could help other songwriters.
Right.
And so Shatia and she actually became a writer that's affiliated with my publishing company, so we actually administered her songwriting.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, as opposed to giving it up to some other, entities that, don't really give back to the community, they just kind of take out. So
Right.
that's the way we stayed in contact musically. We do a lot of just writing music together, like the thing about what we've done. So, I almost forgot about Bring It. The show Bring It was on a couple seasons ago. She wrote a song in there that we collaborated on, and that's how we got together. My musical background, I started years ago, songwriter, my first placement was in the movie Lean on Me on the soundtrack, like right out of high school. Second song I ever wrote was on that soundtrack. Wrote a song for an artist called Civil, again, that was like right out of high school, her first album. Then I started doing some other stuff musically, and just really just the journey overall has been a great one, and just connecting and reconnecting with people to today. I mean, to this point, I'm more prolific and we have more music coming out than ever. And I've been doing this, 15, 20 plus years.
Wow.
So that's really journey for me.
That's beautiful. Lori, what do you think about that when you hear that?
It's just amazing. And determination
Yeah.
and staying with something that you love and being passionate. I really believe it's a gift that we decide to follow our passions, right? It takes so much courage to be able to do that. So I'm just inspired by the three of you. I mean, it's amazing, your journey and the wonderful music that you've been able to put together.
I know, it's beautiful.
Appreciate it.
And what about you, Polo?
The journey with Shatia to D-Series began last year. I want to say July, August-ish, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened is someone in my team, a cousin in my team, had some beats of mine on deck, and he had called me and said, hey, there's this artist, she's really dope, and she's looking, she likes some of this stuff. So, I forgot how he said it, but I think he said like Erykah Badu-ish, I think, kind of equating that to Shatia. So in my mind, musically, I'm thinking, okay, so this is the Neo Soul artist. So, let me get my batch of beats together, Neo Soul type beats together, and some other beats. And so I'm getting all these R&B beats together. So, I'm hoping that they reach. And so, and then so we go to the first session, and it was the beat that she picked, and it was a hip hop beat. I made this beat for a hip hop artist, and it's Don't Do It. It's Don't Do It. The song Don't Do It. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is a hip hop track. Why is she jumping on this? What is the end game here? But then, and man, Shatia is so prepared. I mean, when she goes in the studio, she is ready to go in. I mean, she already had her lyrics ready and set, and she went over and said, okay, Polo, these are the lyrics here. This is how I want it to be. This is how it's going to hit like this. And, just to make sure everything falls in the pocket during the recording process. And she gets in the booth, and she starts hitting it. I'm like, wow, she's really going in on this rap song, on this rap beat. So I was very impressed with how she carries herself in the studio, how she works in the studio. She just knows what she wants when she goes in. So I was impressed with that. And so I wanted to send her some more songs, and then we did the other songs, and she even with Do Better, that was a hip hop influenced track when I made that. And I thought that when the hip hop artists was going in, and then I heard the lyrics, Do Better, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And as I'm recording it, I'm sitting there, I'm going in, and I'm like, wow, I'm enjoying this session. Sometimes I zone out so much. She's like, oh, I need you to double that track. I need you to double that hook right there. And I'm getting lost in the beat, like, oh, I'm so sorry, my bad, But, it was such a blessing working with Shatia. She's such a great individual, such a great person. And, I'm so glad to have been a part of this process with these series,
Thank you. That is absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you input, Paula. Well, I think if you guys are okay, then maybe we can take a look at the video. How do you feel about that, Shatia? Yay! Okay, I'm excited. Tell the Zulu, say, hold on to your butts. We're about to have a good time. I know, let's do it.
Loving you has been the best thing that ever happened to me. I mean, when we met and started talking, it was so, so carefree. I'm telling you this, you're telling me that. Convo was so deep. Never been hooked before, and now I'm craving more. Before we made love, you took over my body, you had me mentally. I mean, we're yearning from the moon, take me down the spot, the still runs deep. Are you tired of playing games? 'Cause I wanna play games. You got my heart. You got my heart. Gotta grab that gun. 'Cause I wanna run. Protect my heart. Protect my heart. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you care. Tell them that you'll always be there to hold him down. Girl, love doesn't play around. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you care. Tell them that you'll always be there to hold him down. Girl, love doesn't play around. Loving you has been the best thing that ever happened to me. I mean, when we met and started talking, it was so carefree. Are you tired of playing games? 'Cause I wanna play games. You got my heart. You got my heart. Gotta grab that gun. 'Cause I wanna run. Protect my heart. Protect my heart. Tell me that you love me. Tell me that you care. Tell me that you'll always be there to hold me down. Oh, love doesn't play around. Tell me that you love me. Tell me that you care. Tell me that you'll always be there to hold me down. Boy, love doesn't play around. Treat me like the one. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you care. Tell them that you'll always be there to hold them down. Girl, love doesn't play around. Loving you has been the best thing that ever happened to me. Treat me like the one.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it.
You guys all back with us? know, that's awesome. Uh-oh. Jeff's trying to talk.
Them dudes was equally, it was like a battle, but both of y'all just came out, you know, both of y'all crushed it.
Those are dope.
She picked, it's rare when you pick two great producers, man, it's rare.
That's the Mr. Shatia, she knew what she was doing.
That's right. That part right there. Okay, so who was the creative voice, the creative pieces behind the video? Let's talk about it. Okay, so what did you kind of like, as you went, did it come to you in a dream, in a vision, or you just let it flow?
It's deep love, right? So it's like, I can do the walking down the street, holding hands thing, but it's supposed to be deep and passionate. And I wanted the video to display that type of love. And the only way you can do it is by highlighting that passion, you know, with a little conservative. But you wanted to highlight the passion in it. So I started looking up different places, and I was like, okay, we got the balcony, and you pick me up on the balcony, we got the shower scene. I was actually supposed to be in the shower too, but I mean, we were filming all day. I was like, you know what, you got the bite, you got it, you got it. And I was like, go ahead, go in the shower, I'm gonna join you. He went into the shower, and I turned right out. And
It's filming.
Man, listen, you really want to do the trick, man, you gotta get a guy with a belly.
No. We're trying not to do a cake.
Okay, hold on.
Tell him.
Can't be having, if I go with the dad bod is definitely there. If I go with the beard belly, and you know, all of that. But it's like, you know, not every girl is looking for that, though. Sell them the dream first. Before you give them the reality. Sell them the dream.
It was fun. It was
Hey,
definitely fun filming it. He was a trooper. He was walking around. I remember him saying, "My feet are cold." I was like, "Put on your socks. We're not getting your feet."
Oh my God.
It was a good time, and I remember there were two gentlemen. Shout out to them, Les Vigil, that whole camp. Shout out to them that did the video, and he was in the shower, and he was like, "Come here, come here. You know, it's only right because I would tell a woman this. You know, there's certain features on a woman's body that men like to see. So if you want to see that D thing that you girls like, let them know to just pull it down a little more. And I don't feel comfortable telling a man." So you can get the whole silhouette. I mean, we had such a ball filming that. And then I remember one time I was like, "Where are we going with this?" Because I was actually getting my makeup done for the next set for the night scene, and I see all the lights and stuff, and I'm supposed to be on this couch, and so they were like, you know, just have fun with it and flow and flip your hair. So I'm doing all of that, and then one of them got up on me and said, "All right, now get on your knees." And I said, "Okay, this is about love. Right?
Huh?
Where are we going?
Oh!
Where are we going with this?"
Oh!
It's about love.
Oh!
Stay on track. He's like, no, meaning I want you to swing. And so, I mean, we were laughing. It was a good energy. It was a good vibe in there. So good.
Like proceed with caution. Like, okay, what we doing now? What we doing?
Wait a minute, get on your knees. Wait, whoa, hold on.
I went straight to Monsters Ball. I'm just saying, when he told you to get, you remember?
Oh, not Halle Berry.
You know, I just wild hill poetry just.
Yes, I know. I've been here long enough.
I think it's excellent. Great work. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Shatia. Do we have any more commentary? Now, what we got going on in the Zoom room,
Room says, great video. It's real, that's tough. Love the video. good beats, nice, lots of comments. So you are blowing the Zoom room up.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, we got a guest here.
Okay.
We do.
We need to bring him in. Look, Shatia, we got a surprise. What's up, D?
What's going on, Tab? How you feeling, brother?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm here. This is Shatia, man. We're doing her. She just put out an EP, and we're discussing it. We're telling the fans all about it, how we met, the whole shebang, man. Let everybody know who you are. Do you mind, brother?
No, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, this is Darren Henson, y'all. Y'all might know Darren. He's a great friend of mine. We go way back, before even you guys. Darren was in the show Soul Food. I mean, he did 1,000 movies. I don't know the lineup, but he's like involved in executive producing, and he's doing a lot of things in Hollywood now. But he's always looked back to see how I'm doing, and always was a good friend, and said he would help me out on everything. And he always was trying to get around to helping us in the Poetry and Justice show. So.
Thank you so much.
Yes, the executive producer, Lauren, can you introduce yourself?
Hey, Darren, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Lori Fisher, and I'm the executive producer of the show. And we are just elated that you dropped in to say hello, particularly tonight when we have Miss Shatia with us, so you can hear some of her incredible music and the stories behind them.
Beautiful. I promise. I call him Tap, right? That goes back. I don't know if you guys know him as that, but we've been friends for over 35 years, and we reached each other, and I heard about what he was doing, and I believe in the spirit of creativity and inspiration, and I'm here in LA right now. We're shooting the 3rd season of The Family Business, and so it's called Weathers The Family Business, and right now season 2 is airing, but we're shooting season 3 right now, and so we're in quarantine inside of a bubble, and today was a day off. So when I saw that you had this show on today, I told them that I would love to join and participate in any way that I could. So I appreciate you all for having me on. So happy 2021. May the Most High bless all of you, the listeners, the watchers, and the people who are involved in the show in perpetuity. May you be covered in health, wealth, and prosperity and longevity.
We receive.
But Shatia, you just missed a couple of cuts. The EP, I'm gonna send you the EP, brother. The EP is hot, man. Darren used to, I was hanging with Darren. Actually, Darren was hanging with me because I'm older. But we used to hang when Darren was doing videos for like Michael Jackson. He did videos, but he's like one of the best dancers in the world. I mean, and I'm not trying to pull y'all leg. He really is.
I think they know about Darren's dance crews. I think they remember Darren's dance crews.
Our Zoom room, they're talking about your dance crew.
I was blessed to be able to realize a dream. Miles Monroe says, sight can only take you so far, but a vision will take you so much further. And I've always tied myself to my vision. We've heard the old adage, hold the vision and trust the process. And I believed in that, as a young child. My grandmother taught me to have faith, but to put actions behind my faith. And coming from the Bronx, all I had was dreams. And coupled with those dreams, I knew if I could be active within those dreams, they would meet one day. And so, it happened from the New Kids on the Block, which was the beginning of my choreographical kind of career, to Color Me Bad, to SWV, to Vanessa Williams, Donna Summers, ultimately 1995 started my major journey. Well, all of it is major, but I got a chance to work with the King, Michael Jackson, and then the following year, Prince. And
What are the
so
odds?
it was such a cacophony of feelings, of energy. Then the Spice Girls, then George Michael. I had CNC Music Factory under my belt already. And then ultimately all the choreography I did for the boy band, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Jennifer Lopez. And then I won the MTV Music Award for the world-renowned video Bye Bye Bye. So, I've had a very wonderful career with dance and choreography, and it literally was a young man holding space for his dreams and realizing them and knowing that thoughts are things. And if I could be blessed enough to have a thought and a desire, then I knew that patience and action will ultimately see it through. And so I'm just still a young guy living out his dreams, on television now, producing a television show called Double Cross with Crystal and Howard Gibson on the All Black Network, which was formerly the UMC. Also starring on that show and starring on the hit series called Weathers the Family Business. So I'm just a guy, living, as they say, the American dream. And but it doesn't stop in America. It reached around the world. So, if each one teach one, we can reach one.
Absolutely.
Oh, nice. For sure. Oh, but we're gonna definitely reach out to you as soon as we get the royalties popping. We're gonna have you play in her video there. You might be her husband or not her husband, her boyfriend in the video with all that, because both of y'all are great lookers. So it will go. Still with it. So what I mean. Man, how's the family?
Everybody's great, man. I just got off the phone with my wife. I told her I had to jump on with you. She was like, oh, okay. I was like, I promised my brother I was going to jump on. So, here we are. And I'll call her afterwards because, we're missing each other right now.
Nice.
But you got to get the job done. So it's a part of the process.
God bless you, man. I love you, man. Thanks for coming on, man. I know
I love you too.
Get the way you love, but just that little bit of time right there means so much. And I hope our viewers have just enjoyed it. I know Shatia and the gang did, man. And we're gonna get back to this because she's excited, man. And we all made it happen tonight. And man, you really topped it off, man. You was like the icing, bro.
I'm looking forward to being back on with you guys and spending some time with you and your viewers, and I'll stay on and just keep watching.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna keep you in. I am anyway, and I'm gonna keep you up on because about what I'm doing with that motion picture type of that motion
Absolutely.
picture. So we'll talk about that again. But I love you, bro.
I love you back, bro.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Go ahead. I know you gotta do, man. Thanks. Unless you want to stay. I mean, I'm not kicking you out of here.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna stay and rock with you, but I'm gonna definitely let your guests get on. God bless you guys, and until next time, one love.
Amen. Blessings and thank you for your time. Amen. All right, Shatia, you having a good night tonight on the Poetry of Justice show? Right? Absolutely. You see, I can relate to that one, huh? Shatia, I just kind of wanted to take us because we're getting into the second hour, and I know there was a